Okay, people. So just back, just back from Top Gun Maverick. And oh my gosh, people. Now, hey, I will say, right, straight out the gate, I wasn't sure what the fuck this was going to be. You know what I mean? Like, they were talking about this back in 2010, right? And we'd heard rumblings even before that, you know what I mean? Like maybe, but when you think of all the sequels, right, and continuations that we've had, how many of those have been good? I'm thinking there may have been one, right? But as of right now, I cannot think of any, right? Total Recall was just terrible. RoboCop stunk. You know what I mean? It is every like point fucking what? Every time they try, it's horrible. It's horrible, right? They tried to do, an action in the Expendables. Horrible, right? And there's something about it, right? Because one thing also that they usually do, they make these new versions super serious, you know? And so we lose all the charm and just everything that made the original so frigging good. You know what I mean? It's just like, ugh, what is going on? So yeah, when this was first skirted, it's just like, oh man, just leave things alone. Although like it was hard to try and think where would they go? Where would they go with a story? But as you know what I mean, this day got closer and closer. It's just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go see Top Gun, son. And so yeah, had a little date night, went and saw the old film. You know what I mean? It is directed by Joseph Kosinski, who I do believe, right? He directed and I believe he directed there was that sci-fi film with Tom Cruise. I believe he directed that. That's not helpful because you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, there was a film and I believe he did. But yeah, you know what I mean? I think that's the case. I may be wrong, but yeah, no, I believe they'd worked together. So he directed it. It was, well, the story was from Peter Craig and Justin Marks. But after Tony Scott died, Kosinski, when he came on board, he decided to change the story up. So this new version is from Kosinski, Ehren Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie. The the film is produced by McQuarrie and Jerry Bruckheimer, along with Cruz and David Ellison. It is executive produced by Dana Goldberg, Don Granger, Tommy Harper, Chad Orman, and Mike Stenson, and associate produced by Emily Chong. Music is from Lorne Balfe. All right, but people, right? We got the classic songs and everything like that. There's some Hans Zimmer in there, right? Yeah, it does what it needs to do. You know what I mean? Cinematography is Claudio Miranda. It's edited by Eddie Hamilton. Casting was Denise Charman, and yeah, she really did a good job with that. Production design was Jeremy Hindle. And our cast. Yeah, our cast, man. Boy. Right? So obviously, old Tommy Cruise is back as Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. We've got Val Kilmer as Admiral Tom Iceman Kosinski. And then Jennifer Connelly's back as Penny Benjamin, you know? Yeah. And with that, we got a new lot of people. We've got Penny's daughter Amelia, played by Liliana Ray. And Iceman's wife, Sarah, played by Jean Louisa Kelly. But we've got Ed Harris as Rear Admiral Chester Hammer Kane. We have got Raymond Lee as Lieutenant Logan Yale Lee. We have Jake Picking as Lieutenant Brigham Harvard Lennox. Have Greg Tarzan Davis as Lieutenant Javi Coyote Machado. Have Cara Wang as Lieutenant Callie Halo Bassett. Manny Jacinto as Lieutenant Billy Fritz Avalon. Have Jack Shoemaker as Lieutenant Neil Omaha Vikander. Glenn Powell is Lieutenant Jack Hangman Sarizion. Danny Ramirez is Lieutenant Mickey Fanboy Garcia. Jay Ellis is Lieutenant Ruben Payback Fitch. We got Lewis Pullman as Lieutenant Robert Bob Floyd. Monica Barbaro is Lieutenant Natasha Phoenix Trace. Charles Parnell is Admiral Solomon Warlock Bates. John Hamm is Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson. We got Bashir Salahuddin as Bernie Hondo Coleman. And Miles Teller as Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw. So yeah, there you go, people. And the gist of the film is this: set 36 years since the events of its predecessor, the film follows Maverick, who actively attempted to dodge the advancement in rank that would ground him. However, his career ends up taking him back to the United States Navy Strike Fighter Tactics Instructor program. No wonder they shortened it to Top Gun. Where he has to confront his past as he is charged with training a new squadron of fighter pilots. So yeah, there you go, right? And as I said, look, these films that try to bottle the magic again, they go mad serious. But Top Gun knew what it was. It knew what it was. And boy, oh my gosh, it didn't Icarus, man. It didn't Icarus. And if you don't know your Greek mythology, shame on you. Like it didn't fly too close to the sun. It didn't burn. Didn't fuck up. Right? It kept the charm of the 80s. Really did. Right? There's moments in the screen. Everyone was laughing, man. Everyone's laughing. Think I broke my girl's hand. I'm holding and just gripping it so hard. You know what I mean? There's these moments of tension, and you're like, you know what I mean? And then just like, whoa, it takes you on that roller coaster, man. It really does. Like, just they got these little one-liners in there. There's a moment he's just like, where am I? And the kid looks at him and goes, Earth? Oh man, trust me, when you get to that scene, right? And it's just like, what is he at? It's Mach 8. He's pushing it, he's pushing, and you're just like, oh fuck, right? You just get so invested in the film. Like, yo, they did it right. They really did. Honestly, people, is not hyperbole, but this was fucking awesome. It really was. It was just like the story makes sense. And I like what they do with the story because it's not gonna age. Right? That's the beautiful thing about what they did. Like the story technically won't get dated. You know what I mean? By weird references or anything like that. So that's pretty fly. But yeah, you think the mission makes a lot of sense, right? Then you're wondering why is he there? All of that gets kind of broken, and you're like, yeah, I know, I see that. Makes sense, you know? And so they bring in, right, this diverse cast now of the new generation of pilots, but it didn't feel like, hey, we're ticking boxes here, we're ticking boxes. It was fine, it was cool, it was, you know what I mean? It works, right? Now, Hangman, Hangman, and Rooster, right? Trace too. Like it says, the way they kind of play with these characters. You know, there's times when you're like, God, like, why is he doing this? Like that makes no sense, right? They're meant to be working to do like, why, right? And it's not because it's just bad, but because you're so invested, and it's just like, yo, come on, man, come on, pull it in, like, stop fucking around. You know what I mean? You find yourself like that, right? And that's only because the film is doing what it needs to do, right? There's these moments where you know what has to happen, right? You know where the story has to go, right? We are the breadcrumbs are kind of easy to follow. You know what I mean? This is some Hansel and Gretel shit. Before the birds come and ate that shit up, you follow these breadcrumbs, right? It's just obviously okay. So we're gonna have to have a bit where this happens because everything is, you know, they're dropping these references and saying this thing. So we're gonna have to have this thing, right? And every time they just do something slightly different. They just pivot it. You know what I mean? Pivot it. So what you get isn't quite what you expected. And that ah done very well. Done very well because you get these payoff moments, but then you also get like more story. And so you're just like, yo, you're super invested. You know, it's just over 2 hours, about 2:10, and didn't feel long, right? Didn't feel long. I mean, you're just rooted all the way through because you want to know, like, oh shit, so where are they going to take, how are they going to do this? What's going to happen? Man, yo, they killed it. They really killed. If you like the first one, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. Now, we were thinking, we're like, yo, let's watch the first one, picked it up on Apple. But I mean, time and schedule gets in the way. And then yesterday it was like, should we? And it was just like, you know what? Nah, nah. Because I think if we watch the first one, right? I think it sets too many precedents because you're going to be watching it and you might be like, oh, that seems similar to that, or they're doing something like that, or oh, but in that first film they said that. So how is that? Right? You don't get bogged down in any of that, just going in fresh. Right? They make references for sure, but nothing where you'd be like, I don't get it. I can't follow the film. No, because the most poignant references and things like that, they kind of explain it. You know what I mean? So yeah, you don't have to watch the first to enjoy this, but yeah, gonna go back and watch the first, and I would watch this. I would watch Maverick again for sure. For sure. It's that good, right? And there's a lot of good films where I'd be like, no, I'm done. That was enough. I loved it, but I'm done. This, I would watch this again. It was so fucking fun. It was so fun. So people, if you were on the fence, if you were, and erring, wondering, should you, shouldn't you? I'm telling you now, people, if you enjoyed Top Gun, then Maverick is gonna fucking take you into the atmosphere. Trust me. Trust me. It's gonna give you all those emotions. It's a little roller coaster ride, but when it's done, people, when it's all said and done, your ass is gonna be smiling like a motherfucker. So yes, Top Gun Maverick, it is out officially from Friday. So yeah, people, go enjoy your some shit, right? Go enjoy it, man, because you're gonna. You are gonna.